the Rangers Journal now.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Rangers Journal for the second time this evening as we do our post-match reaction to this evening's 2-1 loss to Birmingham City down south. I'm joined with me at the moment by Scotty, and we'll hopefully have Tom on at some point as well. But Scotty, how you doing, mate?
Been better, mate. Been better.
Yeah, I think I doubt you'll be the only person saying that. If anyone, welcome to everyone who's joined. Thanks for tuning in, particularly those of you who were here earlier as well. I can see a few names that were on the earlier pod. Those who were there will have seen I predicted 2-1 with Tavernier to score, but that wasn't exactly the way I had imagined it. So we're going to go through this evening and just talk a little bit about the game. Just as a wee reminder, I've got the lineup that we started with, that we sort of went over in detail earlier on this evening, so we'll not go over it in huge detail again. But there's a couple of surprises that were in there. Tavernier starting, captaining the team. Lowry and McKinnon, both Scotty and I were quite excited and keen to see them playing. And want our first chance as well to see new signing Clinton and Ciala. So we start off with those three. And before we'll go through the match kind of in order, but just in general, Scotty, you were looking forward to seeing the younger folk. How did you think they did generally?
Not very good, to be honest with you, mate. The younger players, you can't really pick them out and have a go at them because they're young players. They're getting first team experience. It's a pre-season friendly, so in context, you need to kind of go a wee bit easy on them. But what I'm frustrated about is the lack of instruction of the players on the park, the lack of identity, the lack of just anything, to be brutally honest with you, in the first half. I'll stop there because I would imagine you're going to get to that.
Yeah, I think you talked about the context of the game. I do think that one thing we need to put in context quite quick on is as I say, that starting lineup is quite a mix of players there. You've got a couple of young players who've not really been playing before, a couple of the players who've come just back into the side, such as Tavernier, and obviously Ciala who's not been playing, and then one or two of the first teamers. So it's still a bit of a mixed team, and we did start against the Birmingham side that I believe that was one of their stronger lineups, and is a lineup that they've played for at least a couple of friendlies. So I think they were in better position to go into the game well, and I think that is how it kind of panned out. So we'll get into it, and as I say, start going through the game itself. So the team's kicked off late. Obviously, that's now the second time in a row that we've obviously had a 15-minute delay. So either people are not prepared to handle the Rangers support, which wouldn't be the first time, or we're just a bit unlucky. But that can't be great for our preparations, nonetheless. But my notes in the first few minutes of the games, we had a half chance very early on from Lowry, where kind of a positive move. He was quite quick to take the ball forward and whip the ball towards the top corner. So, I was kind of enthusiastic by that start. But then we immediately saw a mistake from Ciala, which is something we've kind of heard a little, I think, rumours about. He passes the ball away, but does make up for it quite well by blocking the ball. We seemed to start, Scotty, with quite a high press. The players were moving quite quickly, a lot of closing down. But at the same time, I felt in that opening exchange, they looked a little bit frantic in doing it. And Birmingham did seem to be able to sort of quite confidently pass their way through. What were your thoughts on kind of the first 15 minutes?
What sums up the first 15 minutes is the boy Dion Sanderson strolling through the press far too easily. Very concerned by the fifth. Very concerned by the whole game, but in terms of breaking it down and getting into the first 15 minutes, it was shoddy. There didn't seem to be much effort. I think that's the word I'm looking for, Doug. Wasn't a very see at least at a football game and you go to East support. I feel bad for I need to give them a wee call because people have travelled at least 6 hours in a car, bus, train, whatever, to go and watch their team tonight, and they've been treated to that. A team that's not showing any desire, any effort, any commitment for a badge. and it's bad, to be honest with you, mate. First 15 minutes just set a tone for a game. I thought initially, first couple of minutes, it looked as if we started off at a really fast tempo. But in 7th or 8th minute, that tempo was away.
Yeah, I agree. I was kind of, again, I had a similar thought to the United game, actually. I was pleased to see the tempo seemingly being a bit higher. Obviously, the closer we get to competitive games, I think we need to get that into the players' legs so that they can hit the ground running come the start of that. As I say, that first 50 minutes was a bit hectic. As I say, I felt they were moving, but they weren't really very productive with their movement. And while the front players seemed to be closing down quite a lot and pushing high, it was leaving huge gaps between the midfield and the defence, which they were playing into. And throughout the first half, for me, they were just getting chances after chance off of that kind of move. We did get another effort from Red Van. It was a decent burst from Matondo. Same kind of thing we see from Matondo a lot, though, where he's really good at getting from the halfway line to the penalty box really quickly. But does he have the goals or assists to add to it? I think the jury is still out on that one. But there was a decent break. But then cut to the 9th minute, and obviously we get the first goal from Birmingham City, which is a goal from a corner. This was for me. This was kind of basics. Player doesn't come in at the front post. Birmingham player wins the header, and then it just kind of hits Tavernier. There's not really a lot you can do about it, I don't think. But a poor way to lose the first goal.
Aye. Set piece yet again. We've done a set piece pod that we needed a set piece coach, and we've conceded in a pre-season friendly. This is all still major warning signs, Doug. Do you know what I mean? And that come on, it's the time in the training pitch. He's the time to fix the medical department. He's the time to fix this, that, and the next thing. Everything he says he was going to do, he was going to get the players fitter. That team didn't look very fit to me tonight. Do you know what I mean? I need to be honest about it. The lack of cohesion, especially not being able to organise yourself at a corner. It's basic teamwork, and that wasn't present tonight with the captain on the park.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're totally right about that, and it's maybe not that surprising given the lineup. Let's say quite a few of the players, that's their first games back, or first games of the period. So the fact that there wasn't that link up, I think, is maybe to be expected. I would say, obviously, as we know, I try and be positive. So I would probably say that the thing I would try and take from that is that that's obviously not going to be anywhere close to a starting 11. Oh, I see a wee appearance here. Hello, Tomo. I'll bring you in 2 seconds. I would say that I think the only thing we can take from that is that that's not going to be anywhere near a starting 11. So hopefully that lack of cohesion will not be as full as going forward. But like you say, some basic errors with the defence I think could definitely be improved. But on that point, we'll welcome Tomo to the pod. Good evening, Tomo. How are you getting on?
Evening, Dog. Hi. Sorry for being a little bit late. Something I had on ran over, so apologies, boys.
Quite all right. We've just been talking about the first half there. We're about 15 minutes into the game. Do you want to give us your sort of general thoughts on the first of all, your thoughts on the starting lineup, and then your just thoughts of the kind of the first 15 and how it went leading up to the goal?
Yeah, I mean at this point, it's pre-season, so I don't want to get too uptight about anything. But at the same time, we're only a week and a bit away until our first game, so I thought we'd maybe be seeing a more of a settled starting lineup of what might be the first 11 when it comes to Hearts next week. I know nowadays it's all about the sports science and the getting the minutes in people's legs, etc., but there are certain players that were in that starting 11 who come next week are probably not going to be anywhere near the squad, never mind in the starting 11. So for me, that was a bit of it was a bit not upsetting, but it wasn't good to see. By this time in pre-season, I'd like to see us have a settled team that are going to be, starting the season. That's what Birmingham had. They mentioned it on the commentary. Birmingham had been playing the same team throughout the friendlies that they've played so far, and it showed in that first half. I say it is pre-season, so I'm not going to lose my mind over anything, but the first half was poor. We could have scored a couple of goals ourselves, but for better finishing. But defensively, we looked all over the place, not just as a defence, but as a team. We just looked like nobody knew each other and knew what their roles were.
Yeah, definitely. We were touching on those exact points as you were, or that main point there, just as you were coming in. I do think one of the things I was going to come on to that sort of Scotty touched on, another set play goal or set piece goal lost. I said earlier on in the fixture list for the friendlies that I wasn't super worried about that, and I hoped that it was something that they would work on and fix. But that's us now another 2 games since I said that, and it's still happening. So that is starting to worry me a little bit. I think we're really seeing the impact of the rebuild and the lack of signings in the games now. The fact that that's 3 games, 3 very different sides, all of which are kind of performing in a similar kind of disjointed fashion. So, like Thomas says, we really need to kind of start bringing it together. But we'll move forward to the next section of the game. I mean, moving further into the match, I just thought Birmingham just really grew into the game. Like Thomas said, they looked like a team that have been playing together. They were very comfortable. We were pressing and we were trying to harry them, but they were kind of just knocking it about a little bit, passing it back out their defence, and really broke our lines. I've got a couple of notes throughout the half about them breaking the lines, just practically just wandering through our midfield too easily, and that's really just note after note after between about 15 minutes and 35 minutes of just Birmingham having quite a few chances, a lot of them from good play from them, but also from mistakes from us. So, I mean, Scotty, at that point, I was starting to get worried that they were going to knock in 2 or 3.
I know. Far too easy to play through. As you say, Birmingham looked well drilled, a well-oiled machine, knew their roles, knew their instructions, knew how to play together, how each other played. And for, what's this, the 3rd, 4th pre-season friendly now? We just looked the exact same. There's absolutely no positives to take for that first half whatsoever for me and Ike Doug. It was tragic actually watching it. It was sad to watch. And when you see your team getting booed off in a pre-season friendly, it kind of, again, I'm going to go to support. The support have travelled a long way to get there, and they've been mistreated. They should get their money back after that, I think.
Yeah, and as if to sort of just compound that feeling, Tomo, they on about the 36th minute, Birmingham's second goal came. So it was from their striker Alfie May. Lad comes in. It looks like it might have potentially been a free kick. They were saying penalty, but I mean it looked clearly out of the box to me. But either way, our defence just completely stops. The lad who's literally on the floor swivels, knocks it in. May is in right, basically in the middle of the box with absolutely no one near him and nobody moving to get anywhere near him. Easy goal, and I mean I've literally written double underlined awful. Because it was just such a poor goal to lose, even in a friendly.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like it was a free kick. Definitely wasn't a penalty. It was outside the box. But we just stopped with Van, I think it was, who came over, seemed to stop. Boys put the ball into the box. He took a touch and he's put it away. But it just summed up our whole first half, sort of defensively, And Salah, he just looked all over the place that first half. Even his clearances, it just looked like there was no rhyme or reason to them. There was not taking a touch on the ball, and it was we just looked poor. And that second goal just summed it all up for me. Everyone just stopped, and it was amateurish. And again, I pointed it out on the group chat. We got a free kick at one point. Diamandi's looking to take it quickly, and everyone just turns their back, just walking away. And I would love to say, well, it's just a friendly, players aren't up. But that's things we've been seeing for 2-3 seasons where we're just not quick enough. We let teams get back and get settled again rather than trying to take these quick free kicks, these quick throw-ins. I know you'll touch on the second half in a minute, but what happened in the second half with throw-ins? Leon King wanted to take a couple of throw-ins quickly. Nobody was about. This isn't just something that's happening this pre-season. It's been happening for the last 2-3 years. And, as professional footballers, I don't understand how they can just switch off both attacking and defensively. It's just beyond frustrating now because it's happening all the time. You just get sick of it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and as Scotty said, the team were getting booed off at half time. I'll stick with you just now, Tom. What were your thoughts in terms of what we wanted to see from the second half before it started?
Obviously, from the second half, I just wanted to see a bit of sort of cohesion from the team, a bit more attacking prowess, a bit more confidence on the ball, people looking to do something, stamp their authority on the team and go, you know what, I'm here, I deserve a jersey come next Saturday against Hearts. We've got boys in that team there who get bigged up, the likes of Lowry. People are saying, oh, he should be playing, he should be this, he should be that. But again, tonight was a chance for him. And in my opinion, he hasn't taken it. And at his age, he's 21, 22. How many more chances does he get? And I don't want to just single him out, but we've been hearing it for years with some of these players. Oh, we just need a chance, we just need a chance. No doubt there'll be people out there tonight. Oh, look at what Scott Wright can do. We need to just give him a chance now. It's like, no, fair enough, we scored a nice goal, really nice finish, but that's someone who should have been out of the club maybe 2 years ago and was still playing Scott Wright in 2024. That for me is worrying. But second half, I just wanted to see a bit of fight. And for me, I thought Connor Barron looked pretty good in terms of his movement, his energy. So I think he will really bring something to the team. But not many who I would say, are on the fringes really sort of stepped up to say, I deserve to be in this team.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd agree with that. And Scotty, if I come to you, Tom touched on Barron there. I personally thought the only player that looked at any decentness in the first half was Balogun. If you had to pick one player from the first half that gave you anything to go on, who would you pick? And is there anything else that you'd add to what Tom said about what you were hoping to see for the second half?
In terms of, I suppose, players to pick for the first half, there's none for me. None of them done anything. Absolutely none. Second half, I was hoping for just an identity, just players that were playing for each other, playing as a team. We've said team quite a lot tonight, and we don't seem to have one. No, the manager's got a big squad and there's a lot going on at the club, but you can still have what you've got going on at park playing as a team. He's a manager. It's his job to set them up and make them a cohesive unit and give them a style of play. And we've never seen that tonight, to be brutally honest with you, throughout the whole match. Connor Barron was a positive. I even seen Leon King going to take several throw-ins and he's looking around about him as if to say, like, who's getting me running? Connor Barron tried to get him it twice and he sent him away just because Barron's tried to give him a decoy run and he just nobody else running. That's how basic it is. Do you know what I mean? Nobody else running to give him an option. It's just so poor. It's not real. And I'm going to be honest, I'm fearful for what's ahead.
Indeed. Well, ahead of that point was obviously the second half, and we did make some changes. I'll just make sure I get these right. So, halftime subs, Tavernier came off for King, which I believe that was pre-planned. It was mentioned that Tav would only be getting 30 minutes tonight. Danilo came off for Dessers, Scotty's favourite. Lowry came on for another Scotty's favourites, not right. And Diomande came off for Connor Barron. So going into that second half, I thought we started much better. To me, we looked immediately a bit more cohesive in the second half, which I think was a sign of the fact that the second half had more of our kind of more first squad, first team players. They did look a little bit more assured of themselves. There wasn't quite the same energy, but as I say, that trade-off came with them being a little bit more organised. We had a half chance straight away. We won the ball high up. McCausland and Dessers had a nice little interchange, but couldn't get to the finish there. A few minutes later, then we had a decent bit of passing play, one of our first, which we worked into the box and had a chance blocked into a corner, but that went to nothing. And then just around about the 60th minute, we made another substitution. Matondo came off for Fraser. I thought Matondo was completely anonymous in his second half stint after having a couple of moments in the first. We won a free kick, which Redvan put over the top, nothing really done with. And then come 63, Birmingham made their sort of classic friendly changes and basically changed. I think if not their entire team, it was pretty close. They had a lot of players in the in that switch. So sort of in the second half leading up to that, Tom, what were your thoughts on how the first half of the second half kind of went with the changes?
Sorry, apologies there, Doug. Could you go again? I didn't catch what you said there, mate. Sorry.
How did you feel in the first half between the start and when Birmingham sort of switched their team? How do you think the team did? Did you feel there was any improvements?
Yeah, it was definite improvements. I felt there was a bit more energy in the team in the second half, and we pressed a little bit better. We kept the ball a little bit better, and we obviously tested our goalkeeper a number of times, but it came down to, again, same things we were saying last season. You know, Dessers, how many chances did he have tonight? And he just squandered them. I mean, the one that frustrated me the most, and I might be being harsh here, I'm sure someone will tell me if I am, but it's when the ball was cut back to him and he's 6 yards out, and Matondo's maybe 2-3 yards away from him, and instead of spinning trying to get a shot away, he's laid it off to him. That was frustrating, because as a striker, you're like, get your strike away, get a shot away, you know. But he's looking to just pass the buck, and then later on, as the half went on, he had a couple of decent chances that just never went anywhere. But Ross McCausland, for me, the whole game was pretty much anonymous. I think if the rumours about Cherney are true, that'll be a huge upgrade on that right wing. Matondo, like you said, was first half he got in a couple of times, but second half was anonymous. And it's the same old failings that we had last season, where we just look powder puff in attack. We don't look like we have anyone who can break a defence down and then create the chances and then finish the chances. Until we get a midfielder in who's going to break the lines and drive at defences, commit people, I fear we're going to be sat here in 3-4 months' time having the exact same conversations. And like I say, if we can see it, I don't know how the board and managers can't see it. It's frustrating. It is just getting really frustrating. And don't get me wrong, Birmingham have chucked a load of money at their team. They've spent more than we have, which is pretty galling considering they're a League One team. But they want to get back up to the Championship, and they have invested a lot in their team. But we shouldn't be getting outplayed by a League One team, even if it is a friendly.
Yeah, what about yourself, Scotty? The first half of the second half, how did you think we got on?
Just pretty much the same, to be honest with you, mate. Connor Barron come on, gave us some legs in midfield. Tim and Diamonde done okay. That's about the only plus point I could probably take away for the whole match. Thought we were toothless up top. Fine, Dessers nods on or whatever he does. Scott Wright scores a good goal. I think that's the second half of the second half, but it was just pretty much the same thing, to be honest with you, Doug. There wasn't much change.
I've got a bit of breaking news here. Just 3 minutes ago, Heart and Hand have tweeted out, Philip Clement says in presser that Todd Cantwell has asked to leave. and will be allowed to go. So that's a big bit of news there. So guys in the chat, any thoughts on that? I think obviously a lot of people were kind of looking for Todd to leave anyway, but apparently he has now asked to leave.
Perfect.
Scotty, I'll come straight back to you. I mean, to me that kind of reinforces the idea that there's potentially been a bit of ruction between him and the manager, because otherwise, why is he going to ask?
You know what? He can take his TikTok and his Instagram comments and his insults to supporters and just piss off to wherever it is he's going to go, to be brutally honest with you. Sick of boy's conduct. He's half-arsed efforts on the park. He's doesn't want to be here. He's told the manager, so I'm happy he's going, to be brutally honest with you. He's far too inconsistent a player. The most frustrating thing is that he's got the ability there. It generally just seems to turn, and the fact that he's come up with Scotland and can't do it says a lot about the player.
Tom, what's your thoughts on that news?
I don't really think it's surprising, to be honest with you, Doug. The fact he's not really played in pre-season, you could tell there was issues there between him and the manager from near enough day one. You know, that first Europa League game when he got subbed off, you know, before half time. But I agree with Scott. The boy, I would like to say, does have talent, but we've not seen it enough. And when he was at Norwich, I think he had the same issues at Norwich. He's come up to us, looked like he may revive his career, but then just didn't kick on. And as I say, if we can get a decent enough fee for him, and if he doesn't want to be here, then yeah, well, it's not going to be a loss. I've got to be honest. I'm not a massive fan of him. I know there are a number of our fans who see him as this number 10 that can win games for us, but he's not really shown it while he's been with us. So I'm not too heartbroken if he's to go find another club. Got to be honest.
Absolutely, I think the immediate thing that kind of the overriding thought for me is just disappointment. He didn't fully deliver as a player, and it's just disappointing that someone that I think has the talent. I do genuinely think he has the talent, but just for whatever reason isn't able to apply it or doesn't apply it. So he came in quite positively. I thought he was going to be a big player in that second season after he'd had the first stint, but like we say, he never really did it. His numbers were some of the better we've had from some of our midfielders, but there was always that doubt there, I think. And then obviously with the new manager, he's had these troubles. And then the thing that, again, the word that comes to my mind is disappointing, is seeing his conduct on social media, where I've said in tweets and things before, I'm perfectly happy with players having social media, and I don't care what they post with other highlight videos or whatever else. I don't condone them getting bullied, but they will get criticism. They're public figures, they're professional footballers, and that will come if they're on social media. And there's a way to deal with that. And getting into one-on-one little spats with supporters isn't professional. It's not a good look for him, and it's not a good look for the club. And to me, it's disappointing behaviour from someone who should know better. So yeah,
I mean, the thing is, can I just come in there, Doug? I'll be brutally honest with you. Is social media, whatever, if he was doing the business on the pitch and winning us games and winning us trophies, that would be a sight. Nobody would care. Nobody would care what he was doing.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's not, then, like you say, it just adds to it. And it's a distraction that he didn't need. Should just be putting his head down, doing the best for Rangers. And I'll be honest, you look at it, and you'll probably know better here, Doug, with your stats. So I'll put you on the spot here. I would say probably Josh Windass was more of an asset for us during his time than what Todd Cantwell has been during his time in terms of numbers. As I say, you'll be the one that can go away and have a look at that, Doug. But that's where I rate Todd Cantwell. I think I'd have Josh Windass in the team before him, because I think he contributed more.
So yeah, so big news there. So if anyone has just recently joined us, Todd Cantwell has apparently requested to leave the club, and so I would imagine that plus everything that's happened, we will almost certainly see that happening soon. Okay, so we'll get back to the match and finish that up then. So just after the Birmingham changes, we had our one bright spot in the game. Again, another one of our very few good passing moments of the match, which led to Scott Wright cutting through the middle, chested the ball down quite nicely, and then just absolutely smashed it into the goal. Really good goal from Scott Wright. Something that if he would do on a regular basis, we'd all be big fans of him. But unfortunately, it's something he tends to only keep for handing and friendlies, as it would now seem. So that was good. But other than that, he did have another shot not too long after, which fizzed wide. Balogun had a slip up that let them through, but he recovered well. Balogun looked like he was kind of feeling it a couple of times. There was a few points where I thought he was going to be down injured, but he kept coming back, so that was a plus. We saw some subs in the last 15. McKinnon and Ridvan went off for Rice and Finlay Curtis. So it was good to see them. I know, Scotty, you were keen on that, so we'll come to you in a second to see what you thought about that. There was a couple of Dessers half chances that Scotty touched on. And then the full-time whistle actually blew 10 seconds early. So 89 minutes and 50 seconds. So even the ref was tired of our performance by that point. But Scotty, you were keen on seeing Rice. So how did you think he fared?
It's hard to say because we didn't really have the ball when he was on the park. I think he showed some nice touches and good spatial awareness. But apart from that, Doug, it's really hard to. I'm not going to pass any judgment on him, if that makes sense. I hope to see him a wee bit more in the first team fold, but I also think that our midfield's lacking some serious quality just now. So hopefully the next couple of days with the news of Cantwell leaving, etc., hopefully we can get some quality in that can actually help players like Bailey Rice become better.
And how did you think the kind of the game ended in general? Did you think we were any better after the Birmingham sub?
There was a wee bit more urgency after the goal, but all in all, it was a training exercise. It's a pre-season friendly. I keep telling myself that, but I think I'm kidding myself on, to be honest with you, because I'm sitting here I'm starting to get a wee bit worried about it now, because of the lack of not quality on show, but the lack of style and instructions for players, like taking what the manager wants onto the park. That's yet to become evident. We've only got one pre-season friendly left, so I'm not impressed, to be honest, but it's done now, isn't it?
And what about yourself, Tom? What were your thoughts on sort of the game as it was ending?
Yeah, as I say, I think we were sort of better second half, but I agree with Scott there. I try not to read too much into friendlies, but winning breeds confidence. And that's now 3 friendlies we've played where we've lost. So, we've got 1 left before the league season starts, and we really need, as I say, I think one of the most galling things is who really comes into that team. How many players come into that team to make a better starting 11, if you see what I'm saying. You got Butland, Suter to come in. But then after that, it's a bit threadbare. So there needs to be some business done in the next few days and get a little bit more quality in. Otherwise, it's going to be a tough game next week against Hearts because they're full of confidence. I've been reading some of their message boards. They're thinking they can do something this season, but it's always a tough game down there. So we need people in with a bit of quality, like Scott says, but not panicking too much just yet. But I am getting a little bit worried.
Absolutely, I think that pretty much sums it up. I've got your Windass stats for you. So Scott Windass, I don't know who that is. Josh Windass played 73, scored 19, assisted 13, and Todd Cantwell played 64, scored 14, assisted 12. So not a million miles apart, to be honest. So I think that tells its own story. But yeah, I think we've pretty much summed up the game there. A lot of disappointment still there. Rahmani, Whitaker, Jordan, Cherney. who else have we linked with? We need every single one of them, I think, at this stage to hopefully be coming in the coming days and weeks. As I say,
Shankland, do you miss Shankland?
Sorry, how of all the players, how could I miss Shankland? Shankland as well.
You'll be happy with just that one, Scotty.
Yeah, I'll do. Even that alone would make a world of difference. But I think we can all agree we need these players and we need them soon. And as you say, hopefully we'll see some moves. Obviously, Goldson was intended to play tonight, but was pulled out of the lineup in order to discuss terms with an unnamed team who've come in for him. So hopefully that's one that happens quickly. Todd Cantwell as well. But yeah, just in summary, another disappointing game. We need to see more. We need to see a team because we've not seen one yet. It's all been hodgepodges, I think, as the rebuild is still very much in the middle. So we'll see how it goes. But thank you everyone for tuning in late with us this evening. Delayed kickoff and delayed pod. We will obviously see you again tomorrow evening. We've got another great live pod for you. And then again on Friday, where we'll be doing another best 11 for you, and hopefully another one to cheer you up a little bit. Well, it could depress you as well. We'll see. But just leave for me to say thank you, Scotty, for joining us.
No problem, mate. Thanks for hosting.
And thank you, Tomo.
No, thank you very much, Doug, and apologies for my late arrival. But, sterling job hosting as always. Much appreciated.
All right, and thanks everyone for watching again. So just a reminder, as ever, that every night is Rangers Journal night.